Welcome back to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, where Season 7 is not exactly going as planned. Our Jaguars, after competing in the last two Super Bowls, are only 2-4 to start the year. And we have to find out, is this a bump in the road? Are we still contenders in the AFC? Or was our time at the top short-lived? Success doesn't last forever, and failure doesn't have to either, despite the efforts of some franchises. But the Tennessee Titans are actually competing far harder than they have in recent years, already winning 4 games, when they've been constructing a roster full of players they've only gotten because they couldn't win 4 games previously. Players like Glenn Thomas have helped reshape their defense, and they've made the most out of struggling the last few years, building up a strong core full of players you're only going to get toward the top of the draft. We saw in their most recent draft, they came away with pass rusher Matthew Perry towards the top of the class. 92 finesse move was his rating there on the first day of his NFL career. That is freaky. And you know what? He's too good to wear 61 as an edge rusher. Let's go with the number 90 then. So the Titans have this really intriguing young core, but it didn't end there in the most recent draft, right? They took some other players, including a player I was very close to selecting. That player was Will Leak, with 76 overall at outside linebacker. He is an off-ball linebacker. He has really good run-stopping skills, 84 speed. Are you kidding me? They also took a superstar center at 75 overall. This is Gordon Chamberlain. I was looking at some of those offensive linemen in the middle of the draft, wondering if they could be potential starters one day. Here's Chamberlain. They got him top of the second, so didn't wait around for him, but a superstar center, I mean, that is so hard to come by. The Titans just keep nailing these picks, and now they have the chance to send us to 2-5, which would certainly put us in panic mode here in Season 7. And now I gotta face the media. Do I really have to do this? Alright, we're talking about my play calling on this 2-4 team. By the way, speaking of play calling, I did adjust our offensive playbook. There have been some changes. I took out all the slip screens and some other stuff. I'm just gonna say higher. I'm assuming our red zone defense is not good, and that's why you asked the question. That's incorrect. Wow! They had me second guessing myself there. Next question. Try an easier one this time, maybe. The fans are curious about the upcoming trade deadline. Oh, don't ask this. Do you have any plans that trade away a player? Are we going to be selling? No, we are not going to be moving on from players. Even if their contracts are up, I am going to give this team every chance to get back in it this season. We did not come this far to just balk at a 2-4, potentially 2-5 start. With that being said, we really need to get a win here. And we're going to upgrade the dynamic third-year defensive tackle. It is Joseph Bowen getting a power move boost. One thing this team has missed this year is just those great performances that you get from the best players. You know, those 150-yard receiving games, the multi-sack games from players you expect those games from every now and then. And it just feels like right now everybody's playing at a very average level. Part of me thinks that this is going to get better simply because with all this talent, you are going to get some great performances that change games. And I'm waiting for them. You know what? Sometimes when things aren't going well, you've got to change some things up, whether it be players, playbook, or your uniform of choice. We've had some good games in this uniform, all right? We're desperate right now. And Chuck Johnson is looking to bring us back to the top of this division. Opening drive for Jacksonville, and they're in Tennessee territory with Johnson going down. He is sacked by Edwards. I went over the sack numbers allowed at the end of last episode. They're not as bad as they felt. We're giving up around 2 sacks a game, a little bit more than that. But I don't think the offensive line has boosted things the way I expected. Third down and 8 now for Johnson, and he's gonna come close. They'll mark Ridley short. And we're just playing for points here. It is Brandon Aubrey, a 54-yard miss to the right. So I feel like what's exciting about the Titans is primarily on their defensive side. David Corner is the new quarterback. Khalil Shakir is still the top receiver. Things haven't changed there nearly as much. Running this one directly into Edgerrin Cooper. Crowding the box, and here's Corner. Outside for the first down. Chased down by Trayvon Walker. That's where he is so good, that unblocked pursuit. So their quarterback, David Corner, he initially started this series in Tampa Bay. Started for 2 years, went to Philly to be a backup. Starting again now on a successful team, but that is broken up. Telfer is in there, and Tennessee is not going to kick a field goal try in this direction. I do want to see a little more Benji Cormier today as well. Joe Johnson this year hasn't been overwhelmingly successful. A penalty there helps us out. Joe Wilder makes a catch. We have a Benji Cormier 6-yard run on this possession. And now we're in the red zone for the first time. Johnson sweeps to the edge, following Reuben Ross to the 5. Now Johnson on third down finds the open man. It's a Kevin Parker touchdown. And Jacksonville strikes first. But now a chance for Tennessee to answer. Corner swings this pass out, and Telfer able to sprint out in space for the TFL. Not an easy play. I can't tell you how long I've been trying to find a cornerback to play that role like Telfer does. I don't think he's like the most physical player there that you could ask for, but it's been getting better. I just want to see someone have that Antoine Winfield play style I grew up watching with the Vikings. This is third down. Chase down again in space. Nice play by Chuck Dalton, the linebacker. And we'll take that. They only get 3. Now, we've only been scoring around 20 points a game. So it's not often we've scored 3 touchdowns in a single game this year. But see us here in a 2-minute drill. All this offensive firepower, a great offensive line, and a Super Bowl MVP at quarterback. Johnson on second down finds Kevin Parker, who's finding himself pretty busy today. The clock can become an issue here. We know how it's been this year with Madden 25. Not the strongest clock management we've seen in this series. Over the middle now, and Reuben Ross, who came into this episode, the Jaguars' Triple Crown leader at receiver. Kind of coming out of nowhere. But he's been really good in that slot role this season. Now Johnson dumps it. That's Ridley. Now, when do we spend this last time out? Teams tend to wait a while, and that's what we're doing here. So 11 seconds and running. Johnson for Brian Thomas. Got to call it there. And that will bring on the field goal. Reuben Ross just keeps producing. 26 more. Kevin Parker, one of his best days all year, 21 yards. I'm giving Cormier some possessions here in the middle of the game to grab some more carries. But Johnson swings it out. Get in there, man. We have not seen the fullback a whole lot, Dominic Grenard. But now Thomas Ridley is going to exit and gingerly work his way into the locker room. Joe Johnson right up the middle and untouched for 6 as the Jaguars extend their lead. Hey, here's the value of a good fullback here. Do I have to circle the guy in the center of the frame? Probably not. Into the second level, leading the way for Joe Johnson. We could probably afford to call a little bit more eye for him. And Reuben Ross just keeps on getting these big gains. I mean, a couple years ago when we had Eli Arrington, when he was in the slot, it was tanking his yards per catch. He was around an 11, which is low for a player that is as talented as he is. Reuben Ross is going against that trend as a less explosive player. Can you guys stop with the penalties? Holy cow! 5 straight plays, and 4 of them were on y'all. Totally healthy. 2nd and goal from the 26. Johnson will hit the pass to Brian Thomas. Oh, he fumbled it. Don't tell me. What are we doing right now? Don't open the door for these guys. Oh, come on. What is happening right now? A 70-yard Khalil Shakir touchdown. Why am I getting flashbacks to season 2 of the franchise? Johnson has time, and that was kind of awkward, but it's a Thomas first down. Johnson pump fakes, looks deep, and it's intercepted! Intended for Parker! And the Tennessee Titans take over at the 44. Nate Hobbs on the interception. What is going on? Y'all had a 14-point lead inside the 10 with possession, and now the Titans are 56 yards from tying the game. Play action. Corner, downfield, it's caught! Shakir! 3 catches, 110. When did Khalil Shakir turn into Randy Moss? Blitz coming, corner extends and completes it. What a play. Guys, stop laughing. It's not funny what's happening right now. 4 minutes left to go. They run it. Come on. He's going to go to the end zone. I cannot believe what's unfolding right now and what I'm seeing. 4 minutes left to go in the game. Nothing is giving me a lot of confidence right now. 30 of 31. What's the one? That interception that opened the door for them to tie the game. Chuck, please fix this. We are going to run it, and that is... Oh my God, he's hurt. Kevin Parker to the sideline. What's next? Take the team from me. Play action. He's going down. Glenn Thomas. On 3rd down, we only get 5 back, and we're giving the ball back to the Titans. When it rains, it pours, and I've never seen anything like this. David Corner sprints up and gets hit down after a gain of 3. So the Titans have just over 2 minutes now to try to get in field goal range. And we haven't made a play in a while. That's going to be a first down catch to the outside. Over the middle, sprinting into Jaguar territory. A big pickup to the 35-yard line. Corner throwing, again hooking up with the receiver. And inside the 25, the field goal now is well within makeable range. We are now in a position where we have to use our timeouts to get the ball back. Tennessee running it right through the middle to the 5. Right by Joseph Bowen. I'm at a loss for words right now. I have not seen anything like this come undone in one of these games in a long time, and it's typically reserved for a much worse team that has not had the success that we've had. The Titans are now trying to punch this in, and now we get stops that are only going to reduce our time. And Ezra Telford just left the field. I want to leave the field, as a matter of fact. 3rd and goal. He's not getting in. And do we have a timeout? Did we just use one? No. So, what chance do we have? A lucky pass that gets us out of bounds and a field goal and then overtime? 17 seconds remaining. And Chuck Johnson has thrown one incomplete pass all day. It didn't even hit the ground. It was an interception. He's having a legendary completion percentage game. And we're 17 seconds from losing. Good protection. Johnson throws it away. We need a pass interference at the plus 44-yard line. Johnson gets it away again, and now 7 seconds remain as he hits the ground. And this could be the final play of the game. Johnson's going to unload it deep downfield. Knocked away, and the game is over. The Titans have done it. They're 5-2. As the Jaguars snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. What would our odds of victory been? Up 14, goal to go, inside the 5, and I can't even begin to comprehend what just happened. 4 penalties on one possession, a fumble, a deep ball, a Shakir 70-yard touchdown, then a pick, another Shakir 50-plus yard bomb. What on earth did we just witness today? And now we're 2-5. Like, what does this mean for our season? What does it mean? By far, one of the most bizarre losses I have seen in quite some time. And who knows the ramifications this has on the rest of the year. As we go into week 8 with a 2-5 record. I felt like the game we just watched was a must-win game. And we lost it. So what does that make this week, as we are the only team in the South under 500? If we lose this game, can we even recover from that? Well, if anyone can fix it, perhaps Chuck Johnson is that player. But it's clear he cannot do it alone. We get to the red zone and miss a 32-yard field goal. You're telling me this is just continuing? When will something just go right again? 3rd down, Anthony Richardson connecting with Jazz Macklin. 1st down, Colts. Richardson has time run out, and he's dropped by Martin Cooper. Finally, we do make a play again. But now trying to keep them from getting a touchdown on this drive, and Cooper's there again. He still caught it. What is happening to our team? Kevin Pickens. So Martin Cooper is going to get there again. He actually impacts the throw, but Richardson and the strong arm throw still gets by J.D. Short, and that is a Colt touchdown. We haven't done anything offensively, and the Colts have it again at our 30. We don't have a score yet. I don't know what has happened since that red zone drive that went wrong. There has to be a curse or something placed upon this team. On 1st down, Richardson again, a perfect strike. We have 1 3rd down conversion in this half. Not even showing up this week. We blitz Richardson. That time we make the play. Could have been called a fumble there. And now they're going to leave the offense on. Come on, D. Richardson hands. It's a first. And inside the 5 they go with Woody. Keeping Richardson taken down. We can still prevent the touchdown, guys. AR rolling and losing the ball. And the Colts are going to get it back. But we're not slowing them down. They just keep putting the ball in plus territory, and they're going to settle again, extending their lead to 13-0. Joe Johnson is injured today, by the way, so he's not out there to try and will this team back. Y'all cannot just sit here with no points on the scoreboard, though. This is nearly an entire game's worth of no scoring and barely making any plays. We're not even running for 2 yards a carry right now, and all this started late third quarter of the previous game with those penalties and the fumble. That was caught by Ross. I thought it was about to get picked off. Four-man rush, and Johnson's going to take off, looking for a block. And he runs it inside the Colt 40-yard line. Fake to Cormier. Johnson finds Kevin Parker. First down. Again with the play fake. And what a move by Johnson to pick up positive yards on this scramble. Johnson over the middle and hauled in by Benji Cormier. Johnson from the 10 is going to get sacked and lose 9. We're going to need 2 touchdowns, and Thomas takes it back inside the 10. Man, we got to score right here. Johnson, 3rd and goal. He's going to do it on his own. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Their first points in nearly an entire week. And we have finally gotten back in this game. If we can win, maybe we can save the season. Indianapolis possession. Richardson upended by Edgerrin Cooper. Again, the run and popping it to the outside. A big pickup inside our 40. Garrison Woody. Another good play, breaking a tackle and gaining 4. They've been chipping away with the run on this entire possession. And Richardson, all by himself, hits the star tight end, Richie Kidd. We had the Colts number for a long time, it felt like. They beat us earlier this year, so this is for a tiebreaker. But also, I mean, a 6 loss, going 2-6, that's worse than a tiebreaker at this stage. Our season is hanging by a thread. It's Richardson, and he fumbles it! We got it! And it's the rookie who knocked it out! Second-round rookie Bryce Weaver with the hit on Anthony Richardson. Recovered by Alex Ratliff, and now the offense just needs to score. We have a long way to go, of course, and need 6 points, so a field goal won't help us. There was apparently a fumble. We got it back. Out goes Ridley in motion at the sticks now. Thomas holds on. Johnson near side to Parker. First down. In the backfield, Cormier does get away from the first defender. Just back to the line of scrimmage. If we fail here, we probably kick with around 4 minutes left. But can Johnson make a play for us? He's shoved down and sacked. And the defense will have to get us the ball again. Anthony Richardson continuing to play well against us after a lot of bad games in the last couple years. The matchup we had previously this season was solid. And now he's trying to lead the Colts to a series sweep. Following a loss of 3 on first down. Back to the air again. And complete. At the first down marker. We'll go inside 3 minutes. Richardson away from Cooper is going to keep it. And gets the first down. And he's not done there. Slides in bounds. And an injury is actually going to stop the clock for Indianapolis. So a lineman now out of the game. But if they can get a field goal here, there's not going to be a good chance for us to make this a game. Richardson up the middle, running it down to the 25. Handoff again, and that is enough for a first down as they just overpower and wear us out. The running back, Woody, now over 100 yards on the ground. And they'll run a play here on 3rd and 2. And breaking a tackle. They do not get the first down. And they're actually forced to call a timeout. Why would you leave the offense on here? You can kick a field goal and go up 2 scores. Or you can have a turnover on downs and keep us in the game. What a bizarre choice. Why wouldn't they kick there? 59 seconds then for Chuck Johnson. He starts by finding Ridley. I can't believe we're getting this chance. It doesn't make any sense. This game always errs on the side of caution. They kick a lot more field goals than they should. But not that one. Now we still don't have a really good chance here as we have no timeouts and basically have to score here. But Johnson's going to buy time and go down. We have lost our 6th game already. And you have to wonder if this season is now over. I can't believe what's unfolded today. I came in a lot more positive than I usually am with a 2-4 team. And I can't quite explain how this has happened. This time we only score 7 points. Putting up our usual scoring production has been a problem all year. Running game was just atrocious today. And clearly the passing game wasn't a whole lot better. Chuck has not been able to will this team forward the way he has in seasons past. 30th in points scored, 20th in passing yards. We apparently have a good scoring defense. Only one team is scoring fewer points per game than us right now. This season has been a failure. When it was expected we'd compete for another Super Bowl with this revamped offensive line. Jordan Mailata has been a disappointment, allowing 7 sacks already in 8 games. Meanwhile, Jelani Swain, now in his new home in Chicago, has only given up 3. And the Bears are at least 4-3 on the season. And here we sit in a tie for the worst record in the NFL. Never would I have imagined this. I said I wasn't going to do it earlier. I wasn't going to sell at the deadline. I'm going back on that. I'm taking a 4. This is roughly what the Vikings gave up so they could get Cam Robinson at this last year's deadline. It was a conditional pick with a max value of a 4th round pick. So that's kind of what I'm replicating here. The Steelers didn't have an 80 overall tackle on their roster. And on top of that, it's clear we're just not better with Mailata. We're going to sign left tackle Patrick Paul then in that case, and he'll either back up or start, but doesn't matter if we're 2-6. I'm actually going to start Patrick Paul. He has good strength, a little bit different, I think, skill set than some of the other tackles we've had on this team. So we're going to let him step into that job. So if we make that move, do any other potential moves make sense? I definitely think there are players here that won't come back, but Mailata was a veteran who wasn't playing all that well to begin with. Linderbaum is another player we could look to trade, but I don't think I'm going to. There's still a slim chance we could turn the season around, and I want us to have, good blocking in the interior for the run game and everything. We are getting a defensive line breakout scenario. There's something positive for us. So at least we have somebody that is catching coach's attention. Do you have another big game in you this week? We are talking to Martin Cooper, who did cause some havoc in that game, and we could see his dev go up. It's the Raiders who are up next on the schedule. I just can't believe the level that this team is getting in its own way this episode. This is a bizarre story. I mean, this series has been full of surprises. This is one of the worst surprises ever. Not to mention the Packers are 8-0 right now on the season, so it's really not going well for me. We have our first lead in a while, in a couple weeks anyway, as we did get an interception from J.D. Short. Reuben Ross set up the Chuck Johnson rushing score. But it's turning into a higher scoring back and forth game. Haven't played one of these in a little while. Johnson runs another one in. We actually lead by 10 in the late minutes now. We're in the 4th. Brian Thomas, 15 yards, touchdown Kevin Parker. It is a 17-point lead. Raiders score with exactly 4 minutes left, making this a 2-possession game. And that's the last time they get the football, as Jacksonville does get back in the win column 34-20. The type of game I knew we were capable of having, but if it only shows up every 2 months, then it's not going to be enough. Johnson does throw 2 touchdowns today and run in a pair himself. Joe Johnson returns with 57 yards on the ground. Nice, heavy run game emphasis in this game. And it's Kevin Parker who goes off for 10 catches, a $121, and a touchdown. No sacks, though, so Martin Cooper is not going to get a breakout scenario accomplished. But J.D. Short, 2 interceptions, and then Joseph Bowen, 7 tackles, 4 TFLs. Just dominant. So we're talking about Martin Cooper now with the media, talking about his leadership, and without him, I'm not sure where this defense would be. I like that they can still get the XP even if they don't achieve the breakout. You know, it's going to take a lot more than that, but it at least gives us a little hope. I'm kind of at the stage now where I'm trying to see if we have a chance to do anything this year or if we should just get to the offseason. Then we go and blow out Los Angeles. 34-10, we defeat the Chargers. Chuck Johnson, 2 touchdown passes. We have Joe Johnson go for 99 and a touchdown. Kevin Parker finds the end zone again, so does Dontavian Wicks. And the defense did get a little more production this week. Chuck Dalton, a sack and a half. Cooper and Bowen also get sacks this week. So we have snapped a 5-game losing streak then. We do suffer a Week 10 injury, though, and that's going to be a season ender for J.D. Short. Out the next 11 weeks with a compound foot fracture, and we'll place him on injured reserve. So that opens up the playing time then for rookie Gregory Rossum, 3rd-round pick, who came in as one of the highest-rated players in the draft, an absolute steal. And now it's his turn to get a lot of playing time. Coming out of our Week 11 bye, we are still in last place in the AFC South. The Titans have fallen a bit from their 5-2 start. They're now 5-5. We now face the 7-3 Seattle Seahawks, and we cannot handle losing very many more games this year if we want to get back into the wild card hunt. We would not even be on the In the Hunt graphic right now. I'm not sure they'd even let us on that one. Seattle is led by Justin Rice, and we've definitely seen him throughout the series. They drafted him many years ago, back in 2027. He's been their starting quarterback ever since, as they've moved on from Geno Smith. He was a number 2 overall pick, rookie of the year, and now makes the big money. But we've played really well now for 2 straight weeks. We've put up 30-plus points, played really good defense, and that's going to have to be the continued standard if this season can be saved. First quarter, Jacksonville at the Seattle 31. Joe Johnson off tackle with a good run that goes for a first down. Cormier checks into the game as Johnson hooks up with Brian Thomas. From the 14, buying time and floating incomplete. Ridley was blanketed. We get it to a 3rd down and short. Johnson, throw it to Joe. He can run it, though. A touchdown, and the Jaguars strike first. Extra point did get blocked, so 6-0. As the Seahawks come out here at our 32, and we get the interior rush from Alex Ratliff. I'll have to check the numbers, but I'm pretty sure he still leads us in sacks. Joseph Bowen hasn't had that overwhelming production quite this year. Rice is intercepted. Undercut by Edger and Cooper. Good start, Jacksonville. Unfortunately, we can't do anything with the turnover, and Seattle comes back their next drive, threatening to score again. And this time they get it. Justin Rice runs in the touchdown. Down by 1, Chuck Johnson to Benji Cormier. Nice escape to the outside. He flies inside the 20. I also adjusted some of our red zone fringe plays here in the playbook. Here's Joe to the outside with a head of steam. He's out of bounds at the 3. I took out some of the deep play action stuff that was there. Threw in a little more I formation like we just saw. Now Chuck throws it to the outside. He finds Brian Thomas for the Jaguar touchdown. So I like to see our defense now playing without J.D. Short. Looks like at the top here, that's going to be Gregory Rossum getting his first real major playing time. And they're going to get behind Cooper now. And that's taken inside the 15-yard line. Seattle hits the big play. Still plenty of time for Seattle, and all their timeouts remain. They send Cooper in motion. And Justin Rice, nice play design, sneaking underneath. They get the touchdown to running back Nelson Schaefer. Motion fork H choice. I absolutely love that play. I've never seen it. Motion there from the tight end is going to attract a lot of attention. And I love these plays where against certain looks, you can just free up the running back in the flat. You know, I've incorporated a lot more of those into my offense to try to get running backs more easy catches. That certainly helps. A 70-yard touchdown to Kevin Parker. Now, that was end of the first half, so that is a Hail Mary completion. Boy, what a help that is here, given the way the episode's gone. Jacksonville playing for a third consecutive win. Good job, Joe Johnson, allowing Chuck the time to find Thomas. Chuck throwing to Thomas Ridley now as he goes over 200 yards passing. Really curious, too, what kind of sack allowed numbers we end up getting there at left tackle. I've tried just putting in, players with higher ratings in that spot, and now Parker gets the first. Left tackle has been a difficult problem to solve. I'm at the point where as long as you can show that you're not giving up sacks, I'm kind of going to look past the ratings. It's Chuck rolling, and I don't know what that was, but that was terrible. Time runs out on Johnson, incomplete on third down. The field goal is good, so a 9-point lead at least, as we try to hold for a third win in a row. It's looking good, too. We are driving here in the fourth. This is a long drive. We've taken 5+ minutes off the clock, and we'll take 3 minutes there on a long possession. The defense has been really tough these last few weeks, too. Rice throws it underneath. They need 2 touchdowns now in under 4 minutes, and we'll see how quickly they can work through this possession. They have 3 timeouts. At R48, Rice intercepted! It is picked by Stanley Billups, and he's still on his feet. Down the sideline, Billups, he's down to the 1. Narrowly scoring a pick 6, and Stanley Billups awaits that big payday. He certainly earned it, man. It's been so fun to watch him develop. All right, a touchdown should wrap this up. Joe Johnson not getting the ball here. It's going to be Reuben Ross. And that's 3 straight weeks of 30+ points and the defense playing lights out. Maybe this season isn't over after all. I was fully prepared for this to just be, a couple quick games and then we talk about how bad it was. But the story hasn't been finished yet. You only saw a chapter. The Jaguars are victorious 33-21. We move to 5-6 on the year, and now I think we are firmly in the hunt once again. We have Johnson playing at the top of his game, and even through our losing, it's not like he was having these stinkers of starts. There was an injury coming out of this game now, and our latest is Dontavian Wicks. Fractured elbow. He is now done for the season. Our attempt to fix the year continues next time against the Kansas City Chiefs. We also get a game against the 5-6 Ravens. They are also not playing up to their usual standard. So we are still last place in the division. I don't see us catching Houston right now at 8-3. They are the current 1 seed in the conference. The team has been full of surprises from the very beginning of this series. I mean, who could forget all those overtime losses that we had to start the franchise? That was as bizarre as it gets. And then today we go from looking like one of the worst teams in the league that can't get out of their own way to suddenly a team that I wouldn't want to be facing now if I were in another team's shoes. 3 straight games, all looking like the type of football that we need to fix this and go back to the postseason. We do have 2 more division games. I think that one against Tennessee, man, week 18, that could be a play-in game, potentially. Far too early to say, but next episode, we're going to get closer and potentially see if this team will make a postseason return. Chuck Johnson has 16 touchdowns to go with 3 interceptions. Joe Johnson's average has stayed relatively the same today, and it's a full yard ahead of Benji Cormier. Kevin Parker has now taken the lead for receptions, yards, and a touchdown tie now with Reuben Ross, who did make some plays today, but this was certainly more of a Kevin Parker episode. And now check out these sack allowed numbers. Everybody that's playing seems to be doing a pretty good job, and that includes Patrick Paul, who has allowed 1 sack in 3 games. In a little bit of gameplay that we watched, I didn't see anything negative on his side of the ball. While on defense, we have started to play our best ball of the year. Joseph Bowen has just taken over the sack lead on the team, but our production there definitely lower than I expected. Martin Cooper's at 4.5 sacks, just 3 for Trayvon Walker now, 10 years into his career as he's hit 30. And what we saw from Josh Hines-Allen is that his production was so good that regression barely affected him. I'm a little more worried about what happens in this instance with Trayvon Walker. Speaking of Josh Hines-Allen, he's with the Falcons now, and he has not slowed down at all. 12.5 sacks. Not so sure we made the right decision. I mean, I think the process was certainly sound, but the results say Josh Hines-Allen's still the better player. And I think, with the longevity here and playing this well for this long, he would be on a Hall of Fame trajectory. His production is ahead of Micah Parsons right now if we look at the career numbers. Under Aiden Hutchinson. But what a career he's put together in this franchise. So I want to know, what do you think of this team now? Do you believe that these last 3 games are who this team is and that we're about to go on a run back to the postseason, unlike anything we've seen before? Or did this team dig too much of an early season hole to fix by season's end? I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And just your general thoughts on this episode should be fun to read. If you enjoyed today's episode, please, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the video. And if you want to know what happens next with these Jaguars, the Cardiac Cats, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you next time.